And that's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest advantage I see of travel, is that it is such an educational opportunity for children, and it reinforces what they learn in the school systems.
100%. Very well said. And if I may add to this, something that I think most parents are not really aware of are additional benefits that come out from traveling with your children. So, for example, we all know or suspect that they are learning about the world as they travel through it, which certainly was the case when we did it with our children. Those cultural differences really leave an impression, and so many things. But there's also, so not only are they exploring the world outside of themselves, but unbeknownst to them, they're really learning about themselves. They're learning new life skills. They're developing not just new perspectives, but discovering personal interests. That's this interesting byproduct of getting your kids out of their comfort zone and from what's familiar. That's what travel affords everybody, not just children, but particularly children who are, going through, whether it's adolescence or, changes that are going on in their lives. All of this, mixed together with this discovery about themselves through what they're seeing externally is that I wasn't aware of when we embarked on our trip, and really realized when I got back. It's no surprise that my older son, who's now 23 years old, got his first job out of college at SpaceX. He developed this love and appreciation for not just photography. That's a life skill he learned while he was traveling, but an appreciation for aeronautical engineering and space and rocketry. That came out of visiting places like the Kennedy Space Center and so forth. So it could lead to, really anything, but this gives children an opportunity to discover themselves without the, kind of influence of their peers and kind of their day-to-day challenges and struggles that they have as young people. I hope the audience out there really takes this to heart, maybe in some way practices it on their own, because to be aware of it will really enhance the experience, I think, without being, overly, intentional about it, because it just kind of happens. And that's where the magic is. And that's why I built a career in trying to promote all the things that families can do together, not just a theme park or beach vacation, some things we talked about, but there's so many great trips. One I didn't mention, for example, dude ranches, very popular with the multi-gen and skip-gen circles, because it's a chance to get outdoors, and you can not just ride horses, but you can go fly fishing and spend quality time in a cookout, or by the campfire, making marsh or burning marshmallows and toasting marshmallows, I should say, although right. I tend to burn them. But these are there's so many things that I hope parents and grandparents alike will take the time to research, discover. Not to put a plug for Family Travel Association that I founded 7 years ago, but familytravel.org. I urge your audience, check it out and maybe get some ideas and look at things that you never thought were even possible. Scuba diving with children is a possibility. I've gone on dive trips all around the world with my kids and other families. 10 years ago, I didn't think that was even remotely possible. I didn't realize that a 10-year-old could get their certification. I thought it would have been at least, in the teens, if not a little older. But anyway, there's so much out there. But as we kind of started with, it's finding that kind of common ground that's so important when planning something like this. What are some of the things that everyone in the family likes to do? And one last thing, a common mistake that's also made when it comes to planning travel, particularly with families and certainly with multi-gen groups, is that they don't consider the activities before the destination. In other words, people say like, okay, where do you want to go? And let's say, for the sake of argument, someone says, I want to go to Hawaii. And it's decided that one thinks Hawaii is great. Well, really what Hawaii is a destination with beaches, resorts, things like diving, as I mentioned, and some cultural experiences. But if you pick the destination first, you limit yourself to whatever that destination offers. Instead, start with, oh, I want to go sailing, or oh, I want a beach vacation. Decide on the activity. Then your geography is much larger and you can choose from a greater variety, not to mention expenses. Let's say everyone decides to go to Hawaii, but some people live, in Florida. Those are all factors. So pick the activities first, the destination second.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode of the Adventures with Grammy podcast.